Yeah, thank you for all for coming. This is a time where we get to celebrate the most important people in the School of Journalism, the students, right? Because without students, we wouldn't really have much to do. And so thank you. I'd like to welcome some folks that are here. First, Frank Sotomayor, the chair of our Journalism Advisory Council, and his wife, Barbara. Frank and Barbara, would you please stand up? Thank you for coming. Frank also provides a scholarship for a student and has won the Pulitzer for the LA Times. Is just a phenomenal alum of the program. We also have Rich Gilman and his wife Wendy, another alum. Rich, where are you? Stand up, Rich and Wendy. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Rich and Wendy also provide a scholarship for students, and Rich is another proud alum, Pulitzer Prize winning, former publisher of the Boston Globe. You remember that movie called Spotlight? Yeah. Right there. Right there. Good journalists doing amazing work changing the world. So thank you all. And later we'll actually have Scott Harrelson joining us as well. His parents, Hugh and Jan Harrelson, contributed so much to this school over the years, Hugh being another alum, a successful alum. And he'll be presenting a check a little later. I'd also like to recognize the faculty. Such important people, 15 faculty members who work tirelessly to help students succeed. Would you all stand up, please? And thank you for your work. Yes. And we're going to see more of them later. I'd also like to recognize any adjunct faculty that are here, folks who work in the trenches in the media and teach on the side when they can. We have Brett Farah, I know. Anybody else? I'm looking around. Nobody wants to admit to. Stand up. Who also happens to be the manager of the Daily Wildcat, right? All right. The Wildcats. Also, I'd like to recognize very important people, the staff of the school, who do so much work behind the scenes, who put this all on, who keep this running, and without them, it would be in shambles. We have Selena Centennial. We have Paloma Boykin back there, academic advisor. We have Renee Sheaffer-Horton, internship coordinator. We have Michael Chesnick, program coordinator for outreach. And if I'm missing someone, I cannot imagine. I think we got everybody. If I did, I truly apologize. And I'd like to note that graduating seniors afterward meet at the Marshall Building at the east entrance, the one closest to the trees. And we'll get a picture of you. Put it on the web. You can have it as a souvenir. Make it your Facebook page photo or whatever. Snapchat thing or whatever y'all do. So make sure to do that afterward. As well as picking up a program that we'll have in the back as you leave at the end. That'll have all the winners, their names, the awards. It'll have all the scholarship winners. More than $40,000 worth of scholarships that we hand out every year. So make sure to pick one of those up as you leave. Very important. It's been a great year for journalism, right? Journalism. Amazing. Wow. Holy schmoly. It's just been crazy. And a good year for the school. And so many things to be proud of. So many big awards our students are winning. We won a Maggie Award again for the best magazine article of student journalism in the country. Julianne Stanford for an El Independiente story. Stand up, Julianne. Where are you? Where are you? Stand up. Good job. Yeah. Second year in a row we've won that award. Students are getting great jobs and outstanding internships. Last year we had more than 100 students do internships, which was up from 65 the previous year. Amazing. Again, thanks to Renee for that. Summer interns this summer will include folks at the Arizona Republic, KTVX in Salt Lake, Billings Gazette, Playbill, Family Circle Magazine, NPR, and many, many other cool places. So great. Lots of scholarship winners, again, in the program. Make sure to get it. And lots of events this year. The Loft, that movie series, which was so cool. The Zanger Dinner was with Dana Priest. And we're going to, this fall, have the executive editor of the New York Times coming to Tucson to accept the Zanger Award, Dean Baquet. So if you want to hear the New York Times editor talk about journalism and what it's like this past year, then you want to show up for that. At Westward Look, October 20th. News Hack, all sorts of neat things. Updated labs, classrooms, all sorts of exciting classes, and of course, amazing faculty research that's produced. We don't just teach journalism, we also research cures for journalism. So it is amazing to work here. I'm so humbled. All right, so on we go. We're going to go on to the awards. And before we start honoring our students, we do want to recognize someone that's been really critical to our program for years, and really to Arizona journalism. And I'd like to invite Professor Susan Knight up to give a special award that we don't usually give out, but I think it's really important. Susan?
I'm seeing the award, and I'm kind of blown away. It's beautiful. We have a special award of appreciation, and I'd like to ask a group of Pima College turned UA students, current Pima College students, to come on up and help me give the award. And Cynthia Lancaster, if you could make your way forward too. Cynthia Lancaster is retiring this year as the lead faculty of journalism at Pima Community College. Much is said about articulation as students move from community colleges to four-year universities. And we've been lucky for the past decade in that area of articulation with Cynthia Lancaster. Cynthia has a BA and an MA from the University of Arizona School of Journalism, and she's been at Pima since 2007. We're sad to see you go, Cynthia, as we've been the lucky recipients of well-prepared students from Pima, where she's taught classes, mentored students, and been the steward of the Aztec Press, which has racked up a lot of state and national awards during her time there. One student in our program now said this of Cynthia. Cynthia prepared me, others at this ceremony, and many more who have come through the J School in the last 10 years to be ready as soon as we hit the upper division classes. And often my PCC and Aztec Press colleagues are the most engaged and active in their classes, not to mention in student media and at journalism jobs across the city. Her dedication to the principles of journalism has ensured that reporters, photographers, and editors produced an Aztec Press and are ready to practice the craft of journalism at the highest level. And many of us wouldn't be where we are today without her guidance and dedication. Cynthia, congratulations on your retirement, and thank you for all you've done for UAA.
Good afternoon. I'm Janine Rowley, one of the professors in the School of Journalism, and I'm going to announce the Kappa Alpha inductees this year. Kappa Alpha is a college honor society that recognizes academic excellence and promotes scholarship in journalism and mass communication. Members must rank in the upper 10% of their class. This year, we congratulate the following Kappa Alpha inductees: Maritza Cruz, Michelle Jacquet, Isaac Rosenville, Jessica Soriano, and Jason Weir. Congratulations.
Come on up if you're in. Come on up. Great work, great work. All right, next up, we're going to hand out some certificates of merit. And these are really important. They reward students who distinguish themselves inside and outside of the classrooms. And so as I call your name, feel free to come on up and stand and be recognized and get your certificate. So first of all, Riley Brown, come on up. Danielle Fork. Ava Garcia. Where's Ava? Leah Gilchrist. Marissa Heffernan. Michelle Jacquet. Betsy Kaplan. And feel free to just stand right up here. Leah Merrill. Natalia Navarro. Amanda Oyen. Ma Roriz. And Jessica Soriano. Come on up. Congratulations all. You are we're going to see you up here much more, I'm sure, year after year. So thank you all, and go ahead and have a seat. Thank you. Good work. Next, I'd like to bring up Maggie Zanger, Professor Maggie Zanger, for the next award.
Hi there. I'm giving out awards right now for student media. We have, the J School produces a number of publications. We have a number of news outlets as a way to serve various communities in southern Arizona, but also to provide students with hands-on actual engagement with a variety of communities. So at the end of the year, we always honor students who have kind of risen above and beyond in getting these news outlets together. So I'm going to name, I'm going to talk about each of you as you come up. One of the first is Christopher Delgado, who, Christopher, he's getting an award for producing Arizona Cat's Eye this spring semester. He was also general manager of U of A TV. His professors at Cat's Eye said Christopher is absolutely dedicated to providing solid journalism on a variety of platforms. For that, we honor him. Also, Emily Ellis and Angelo Lavo, who were editors, is Emily here? Who were editors with El Independiente, our bilingual publication last fall. Angelo was proved himself to be a great leader with the undergraduate students, and also a kick butt designer who never crumbled in a pinch. We're also honoring tonight Andrew Paxton, Alyssa Schlitzer, Maxie Moran, Giselle Smith. Oh, where are the rest of your buds? They were all very active in putting out Arizona Sonora News Service and the Epitaph and El Independiente, but we're going to give you all the credit for it. All right. Congratulations. Oh, yeah. Again, it's Susan Knight for, is that right? For the next award? For the A. Shannon Award.
Often at these events we talk about the students, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about first who this award is named for. The award is named for Abe Channon, an Arizona Daily Star sports editor for 25 years and one of the most cherished faculty members ever in the UA School of Journalism. There's so much to say about Abe, but I'll tell you two things. He was enterprising. In addition to his regular jobs at the Star and the UA School of Journalism, he also ran the Arizona Jewish Post, founded a national publication, the first national publication for collegiate baseball, and he wrote a number of books on everyone from John Peter Zenger to Pops McHale. Additionally, Abe was a great coach. Arizona Daily Star sports editor Ryan Finley wrote in Abe's 2014 obit that Abe is credited with getting Don Carson into the field. Some of you oldsters here may understand the significance of that. That's Abe Channon, the namesake of the Excellence in Sports Reporting Award. As I make this award to Saul Bookman, Saul, if you come forward. Saul's fan club can keep it down. I'll tell you a little bit about why Saul's receiving this award. Saul's work has spanned print, radio, TV, and online here at the UA. That's not unusual in sports journalism these days. Like Abe, Saul brings two things to his work. He's enterprising and he's a great coach. Saul has an exceptional enterprising spirit. When he saw that the UA softball team didn't have a professional play-by-play scene going, Saul stepped in and created one. Saul also has emerged as a great coach. As a sports editor of the Wildcat this past year, he worked with a multi-platform team covering the Final Four. It's reported that the Star's Greg Hansen said the team's work was the best sports reporting he's seen out of UA journalism, maybe ever. Despite being a little older than his sports reporting peers, Saul emerged as a great mentor to other students, working from passion and not his age, always a peer, never pedantic. Congratulations, Saul.
Hello. My name is Rogelio Garcia. I work in the broadcast classes, and I'm going to present the Excellence in Broadcast Reporting Award, Broadcast Journalism Award. I'm going to do something a little different. I was stuck in traffic a few hours ago, and I had an idea that nobody wants to listen to another old guy go on and on and on. So I thought I would announce the winner, announce some of the accomplishments and future accomplishments of the Excellence in Broadcast Journalism Award in emojis. And so at the very end, the student should know who it is, but I will announce his name at the very end. So I'm going to actually move up here, and I do apologize. I didn't have poster boards to make for the reading impaired, so bear with me because they're like 8 by 10.
Brandon Ian Mejia.
So I was sitting there thinking, great, now I get to go next. Well, Rogelio prepared me with this, so I don't have to be, so I appreciate that. Thank you. So I'm here to announce the this year's Innovation Award. This goes to someone who goes above and beyond when it comes to technology. Someone who just is really kind of a nerd. And this person sort of typifies that. And I mean that in the best possible way. So this year's Innovation Award goes to a graduate student who's used computer programming to scrape Operation Streamline data and automatically tweet how many people are going through the process every day. He's also detected which areas of the library are the quietest for a story that he wrote using sensors and Raspberry Pis and getting data through programming. And he's defending his master's thesis tomorrow at 9 a.m. Hopefully he's going to pass. I'm on the committee, we'll see. In which he actually programmed a mobile application that he's going to deploy to people on the border so that they can map and crowdsource information about militarization along the border and police on the border as well. So it's my pleasure to award the 2017 Innovation Award to Alex DeVoid.
Hi everybody, I'm Carol Schwalbe, and it's my pleasure to give out the Excellence in Science and Environmental Journalism Award. So, this to you, I see her in the back, Michaela Webb. Come on. So Michaela is a star, a rising star in the field of environmental journalism. She started out as an environmental science major, so she has science chops. And after she took our course in environmental journalism, she switched majors to journalism, which we're very happy about. She feels that good journalism has the potential to create a lot of change. And her environmental writing has already appeared in the Arizona Sonora News and Daily Wildcat. And she placed third in the Mark Finley news writing contest. So, congratulations. Woo! It's also my pleasure to give out the Excellence in International Journalism Award, which rewards contributions to border reporting or the overseas work of a student. And we're fortunate to have two outstanding international journalism students this year. So one recipient is Jenny Hijazi. So Jenny is earning not one but two master's degrees, one in journalism and the other in Middle Eastern and North African studies. For her master's project, Jenny traveled with teams to the U.S.-Mexico border and the U.S.-Canada border, and she also went by herself to Central Egypt and the Lebanon-Syria border. So this takes courage, but she never flinched. She worked in difficult situations and showed great empathy for the people she was reporting about. And she produced a truly moving and educational multimedia piece for her master's project. So congratulations. Woo! And the other recipient of the International Journalism Award is Bakina Wellers. So Bakina brought an international perspective to our classes in our school. He is a Fulbright scholar from Rwanda. And for his master's thesis, he did an outstanding job examining the influence of foreign news programs on television and newspapers in his homeland of Rwanda. And he submitted an abridged version of his thesis for presentation at a national conference. And we're waiting to hear if it has been accepted. So fingers crossed. Congratulations. Excellence in Research Award, and this year's recipient is Michaela Maize. So Michaela is a Renaissance student who can do it
it all. She has a science background, neuroscience, cognitive science, astronomy, and now she can add a master's degree in journalism to her repertoire, and she's also an artist. And we're recognizing today her excellence in research as evidenced by her outstanding thesis on newspaper coverage of Mars in the United States and the United Kingdom. And one of her committee members called Michaela's thesis, quote, brilliant and fantastic. And the other committee member said her thesis was exceptional work. And like Bakina, she has submitted her thesis for a presentation at a national conference. So we have fingers crossed there too. Congratulations.
Okay, I'm Kim Newton, and I'm here to give 3 awards. And the first award is the J. Y. Bryan Prize, and it is given to a student for exceptional skills in interpretive photography. Strong interpretive photography represents a photographer on their way to developing a personal visual style. And this year's recipient is Alex Mcintyre. Alex has a natural visual ability, a strong sense for visual storytelling, and a unique perspective on the use of dramatic light. Combined with his passion for rock climbing and extreme sports, Alex has been able to incorporate his creative style into well-defined visual stories across a wide range of news, sports, and feature photography. Please congratulate Alex. The second award is the Jack Sheaffer Award for Outstanding News Photography, which is named for a longtime photographer at the Arizona Daily Star and recognizes a photo or body of work that shows a strong news sense. Please congratulate Rebecca Noble on receiving the Jack Sheaffer Award. Rebecca is receiving this award for her exceptional coverage of the 2016 presidential campaign across Arizona and for her coverage of the Women's March on Washington on January 21st of this year in Washington, D.C. Let's also congratulate Rebecca as she leaves Tucson for an internship at the Billings Gazette in Billings, Montana. The last award is the Excellence in Multimedia Journalism Award, and it goes to a student who has produced exceptional work in multimedia. And this year, we're giving this award to 2 students. The first recipient is Maritza Cruz. In my Journalism 307 class last semester, Maritza produced a short documentary on homeless youth in Tucson. The documentary focused on Youth on Their Own, an organization that helps support homeless youth on their way to high school graduation. The project was entered into the National Hearst Multimedia News Competition and placed 11th. This is really important because it's the first time in the School of Journalism that any multimedia has placed in the Hearst contest. The second recipient is Jordan Glenn. Jordan Glenn's passion for everything visual was evident in the 2 multimedia projects he produced this semester. In the first, Jordan led a team of online news association club members in a video reporting project covering the UA's Critical Zone Observatory on Mount Lemmon, which included 360-degree and drone video. The video was published by the Arizona Daily Star. In my advanced multimedia class this semester, Jordan produced a unique documentary on Amelia Hochschild, a 16-year-old female jockey racing in her first professional race at the Turf Paradise in Phoenix. Please join me in congratulating both these students.
Hi everybody, my name is Brett Farah. I'm a 2005 U of A journalism alum myself, and I'm proud to be the director of Arizona Student Media. That's a department here on campus that houses the Daily Wildcat, as Dave mentioned earlier, as well as UATV, our student-produced television station, and Camp Student Radio. I want to thank, first and foremost, Dave and the faculty for allowing me to present this award. I'm honored to be up here. As somebody who received it myself back in 2005, I can say honestly that the person who is going to be receiving this award this year does circles around what I was able to do then, and so many of not just his peers, but so many students we see. And that's not to knock anybody else, it's just to show how incredibly talented and really wonderful this student is. I'm getting nervous up here, and I've got prepared words. I'm kind of going off script because there are a few students that impact you in a way as an educator, and I haven't been doing this that long to be able to say this, but that really grab hold of your heart, and this student's definitely one of them, so I appreciate you kind of putting up with me for a second. But the purpose of this award, the Donald Still Award, it's named for a UA graduate who wanted to recognize students who juggle their studies with the demands of working at the Daily Wildcat while rewarding the top journalism student working at the Wildcat. And that's kind of a mouthful, but I promise you all, and this is what makes me most proud, there is no shortage of eligible candidates for this honor. And while the Wildcat's technically independent of the School of Journalism and has been for nearly 5 decades, it's great to be able to be here and give this award, which showcases the obvious and really important symbiotic relationship between student media and the School of Journalism, because of all the students that come from the School of Journalism to work in student media. It's an incredibly important relationship, and I'm incredibly grateful for it. It's fitting that this year's winner is someone respected so much by his peers in student media and by his School of Journalism peers, his fellow students, alumni, and professors. And while this award is specifically about the individual's contributions to the Wildcat, there's something to be said for this person understanding where this is all going, how journalism and media are changing. This student is definitely a veritable Renaissance man, and not only shining as a reporter, columnist, men's basketball and football beat writer, and a sports editor at multiple times at the Daily Wildcat, but his career this year alone really has included serving as sports director of the radio station, an on-air host with our television station, and part of, as Susan mentioned earlier, that truly groundbreaking team of Wildcat and UATV sports contributors that have pioneered new forms of engaging with audiences through live streaming on-site at UA sports events, all leading to record audience growth for the Daily Wildcat, dailywildcat.com, and its social media channels. Just as important as this individual's achievements, this student, who has accepted a position with Cox Media in Atlanta, helping build a network of college football websites covering the Pac-12 and beyond, is a rare breed, and he really is loved by, and really no hyperbole, all of his peers, all of his professors. And while I know we're not supposed to say this, I want to call Justin Spears up right now and tell him that I know we're not supposed to have favorites, and I'm new at this, so I promise I'll figure that out later in my education career. But I promise for the rest of my career, this young man will always be one of my favorites. So thank you, Justin, for all you do for the Wildcat.
Linda Lumsden, and it is my honor tonight to give the Douglas Martin Award for Courage and Integrity to Jacob Molinari. And if Jacob will come up. This award, some of you may know, is known for the founding founder of the School of Journalism. And it goes for somebody who's really gone out on a limb and gone that extra yard in reporting a story that had some special demands on it. The person who nominated Jacob said of his coverage of the presidential search at the university this spring that it was superior to anything that any professional in the state of Arizona did. He's a dogged reporter. He also is working with other journalists to seek more transparency in the process for finding a university president, which is an important subject and of interest to us all. So Jacob, congratulations.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Celeste Gonzalez de Bustamante, a professor here at the School of Journalism. And it's a great pleasure to honor, for the first time, this is a new award in diversity and in reporting. And so many of you know, students know, that our faculty at every level really try to infuse diversity into the curriculum. That means they encourage students to go out and report on diverse communities and include a diversity of voices in the reporting. And this time, for the first year, we are awarding a student who really embraces that and epitomizes that core value of the School of Diversity and Reporting. And this year's award goes to Kendall Blust. Master's degree in journalism in December. She's probably one of the hardest working journalists today as she screeched in from Nogales. She was working in Nogales at the Nogales International today. So just to let you know some of the things that Kendall has done, which is deserving, why she's deserving of the award, is she, as one faculty member said, is absolutely devoted to multiculturalism. All her work, from her work on the border to Mexico and Latin America, has really shown how much she is interested and feels the importance of including diverse voices in her reporting. I had the pleasure of going to Costa Rica with Kendall, where she also reported on diverse communities and marginalized communities in Costa Rica. She got an award for her coverage of the Southside Presbyterian Church, the sanctuary movement, day labor movement, and included underrepresented voices in her reporting. And currently she's continuing that with her reporting of communities on both sides of the border working at the Nogales International. So please join me in congratulating Kendall Blust.
Catherine Governal died 2 years after receiving her degree from the University of Arizona School of Journalism. Her courage and her persistence in the face of disabilities and disease was remarkable. Her outreach and her reporting was quite outstanding. In honor of her, her parents established this award to recognize students who exemplify that courage and that persistence. And this year's winner is Sergio Calderon. Sergio is a Tucson native, and after trying to find his path in life after high school, ended up in the Marines. He spent 2 years in 2 years in overseas deployments, his last in Afghanistan. And upon his return, as many young men and women coming from that area of the world suffered PTSD. There were moments of darkness in this man's life. And he healed himself by working to heal others. Through his work in a multicultural fraternity that pushes young people to study hard and achieve, through his outreach throughout the Boys and Girls Club at the Roy Drockman Center, through his work today. A colleague of his recently committed suicide from the same issue. And in honor, this man is starting a nonprofit to help veterans heal themselves by planting community gardens and helping to feed the hungry. There's much more I could say about the honor of this gentleman. I call him Pepito, and I'm honored Pepito. Next are the Alex Parker Awards for reporting. And the students who've worked with me know that I'm a dogged reporter. And I ask hard questions and insist upon asking hard questions and pursuing stories until the very end and being fair and honest along the way. Many people are deserving of this reward for what I've seen in programs through this school, through the projects from Celeste's class and others that are digging into foundations of social journalism. I'm proud. I'm proud of these people. Jessica Carpenter and Taylor Dayton, I don't believe they're here, but Danielle Kamara.
Use the.
Didn't hear which name. Oh, Eric Coulter, get up here. Toby, are you here? Toby Schmidt? Woo! Yeah, see, how could you not hear me? Julianne, Dan. Sorry, my voice was a little cracked. Congratulations, folks. Honored to have worked with you.
Swanberg, and I'm going to announce the award for professionalism. The concept of professionalism includes qualities such as competence, expertise, experience, and effectiveness. The 4 students receiving the William Haddich Awards for Journalism Professionalism this spring exemplified these qualities and much, much more. I'll call them all up and then say a few words about each of them. First, Jordan Glenn, please. Michaela Maize. Justin Spears. And Bakina Wellers. Just a little bit about each one. Jordan Glenn, as you've already heard, is an all-around journalist who can write, edit, and of course shoot great photos. I can't recount everything he's done, but highlights include being president of the school's NPPA chapter, many internships, including internships with Arizona Athletics, the Arizona Daily Star, and Edible Baja. Michaela Maize, who you've already heard a little bit about, was most recently in my media law class. She's another well-rounded journalist. She's a great writer with special abilities in science journalism, particularly in astronomy. She's a tremendous graphic artist. And last but not least, she's a journalism scholar, to which I can attest, having sat as a member, actually the chair of her member of her thesis committee, where I had the opportunity to read her marvelous thesis on Mars journalism. Justin Spears is yet another wonderful all-around journalist with special talents in sports reporting. He's already accepted a job with Cox Media in Atlanta, where he'll showcase the sports teams through his photography and multimedia skills. And then Bakina Wellers, who was also in my media law class. He'll return to Rwanda after graduation to teach at the university level. He educated us in our media law class with his incisive and informative studies of Rwandan journalism and media law. Thank you to you all for contributing to our story.
The next set of awards are for leadership and service. I'm going to give these awards. There are 4 students receiving leadership and service awards, and I'm going to give it in 2 batches. The first award, Andrew Paxton, if you'd come forward. Andrew Paxton has been a solid leader of the Society of Professional Journalists for more than a year, since transferring from Pima Community College. With a full schedule in the past year, working the copy desks at the Sierra Vista Herald and Green Valley News and Sun, continuing to serve as the business manager of the Aztec Press back at his alma mater, then throwing his medal in as the Arizona Daily Wildcat's capable investigative editor, Andrew had time to be at the helm of SPJ, keeping the club alive, providing edifying programming, including he was a big part of the recent fabulous fake news panel. Congratulations, Andrew. At this time, I'd like to ask these 3 students to come forward. Brenna Bailey, Chastity Lasky, and Courtney Tallick. These 3 women, 2 of whom are here, saw a need. They moved quickly with great passion for good journalism and social justice, and they created the school's 9th journalism club, the Journalism and Women's Symposium. Their enthusiasm for straight talk and progress caught fire, attracting so many students and local professionals to their meetings and events, including a great roundtable with more than a half-dozen local news professionals for a conversation about facing sexism on the job. As club's overseer, I have been delighted to work with these women and watch other students care deeply, come out of their dorm rooms, and engage outside of the classroom. All 4 of you, thank you for engaging our students and going the extra mile.
So I'm here to present the Graduate Student of the Year Award, which goes to the graduate student who's sort of risen above. And there's not much that this year's Graduate Student of the Year Award winner hasn't done. She's been on the cutting edge of immersive storytelling using 360 video in her master's project, where she explored the impact of borders on people in Egypt, Lebanon, Canada, and Arizona. And she will attest to this. It is really, really awkward being in foreign countries with this big camera that has blinking lights and then running away. It is, it's weird. She also incorporated some of the school's first drone photography into her story about the Blackfeet Nation's cross-border bison reintroduction program. She's been instrumental in leading the student chapter of Online News Association Club, and she even helped plan and fundraise for a journalism hackathon that trained 100 journalists from around the state and the West. She's interned for local news outlets where she's produced stories on Tucson's transgender community. She also wrote about a man from Gaza who reached the Nogales port of entry claiming asylum. And if all this wasn't enough, she decided in the last couple months of her work here that there just wasn't enough academic research done on immersive storytelling. So she just decided to whip up a research project where she tested whether or not people were more empathetic when they were using 360 video and virtual reality while finishing her project, her thesis project, which she successfully defended. So it was my pleasure working with Jenny Hijazi, and I'm honored to award her the Graduate Student of the Year Award.
Another prof in the school. It's my pleasure to present tonight the Outstanding Junior Award. This award is 50 years old this year. It's named after Brewster P. Campbell, who was a Detroit Press City editor and came down to teach here, was head of school. And the awardee is an incredibly enthusiastic and effective supporter and participant of a free press in a democracy. She already has won a number of awards for her work at Pima Community College. Thank you, Cynthia Lancaster, for sending us so many great students. She led coverage of the community college's checkered record in open meetings and information access. It won SPJ and Arizona Press Club awards. She received an award herself for community public service journalism for reporting on PCC's unresponsiveness to media inquiries on minor issues like mistreatment of veterans, sexual harassment, failures of leadership. She's been an active member since transferring into UA in our journalism clubs. She's had some terrific internships. And I had the great good fortune to have her in class where she wrote, in the Principles of Journalism lecture, where she wrote passionately about another groundbreaking female investigative reporter, Elizabeth Cochran, a.k.a. Nellie Bly. And I think it's kind of appropriate what Nellie Bly said, what she quotes, because think about Brewster P. Campbell 50 years ago, what newsrooms were like then, 1967, right? Today, reflecting on Elizabeth Cochran, this student quoted a letter that Cochran wrote after she was incensed by a column entitled "What Girls Are Good For" in Cochran's hometown newspaper. It was 1885, and Philadelphia Dispatch columnist Erasmus Wilson wrote that women's participation in the workforce was a monstrosity. Cochran, this student quoted, wrote a letter to the editor that said, instead of gathering up the real smart young men for work, gather up the real smart girls. Pull them out of the mire, give them a shove up the ladder of life, be amply repaid, both by their success and their unforgetfulness toward those who held out a helping hand. Just this citation, the fact she cited this, shows to me her passion, her intelligence, her empathy, her appreciation for history, for women, for social justice, and for the role of the press. As I got to know her, I saw all these characteristics and more. You will see her byline in the Arizona Daily Star this summer as she becomes an apprentice. Modestly, I think, her website has a single slogan, and her slogan is, "I am a truth seeker." It is my pleasure to introduce this year's Brewster P. Campbell Award for Outstanding Junior, Jamie Verwise. Next up, presenting the award for Outstanding Senior is Celeste Gonzalez de Bustamante.
Thank you, Nancy. This award, the Sherman R. Miller Award for Outstanding Senior, is named for a former faculty member and head of the U of A journalism program. And it recognizes really the top member of the senior class. And I'm going to call this person up now and then have her stand here while I just go on and on about her. Chastity Lasky, please come on. Yes, I said her name. Yes, Chastity Lasky. The expression on her face, it really actually a long list of things that she's already done in her young, youthful career here at the U of A, and we'll have many more things to come. But let me just tell you that she started off from the get-go as a leader in the program. Already in 105, for those of you who don't know, Journalism 105 is one of the beginning courses, and she already was working as a writer at the Wildcat and continued to work at the Wildcat throughout her career. This summer and fall, she will be the editor-in-chief of the newspaper. Congratulations on that. She also, as you've heard, was one of the founding members of JAWS, the Journalism and Women's Symposium chapter at the School of Journalism. Academically, while she's had all this other stuff going on, she's managed to maintain a very high GPA in 10 out of the 11 journalism classes that she's taken. She's received A's. I think she might like journalism. And has done very well in her other classes as well. Professionally, she has done multiple internships from the Tucson Weekly, Arizona Daily Star, Madden Media, and this summer she'll be interning at Arizona Public Media, the Tucson NPR affiliate. And she was also, during her tenure as a student here, a managing editor and news editor at the Wildcat, and also helped the publication win up to 30 state Arizona Press Club and Arizona Newspaper Association awards. I could just go on. And in the area of service, as you know, she formed the club, JAWS, and on top of all that is a member of the U of A's renowned Blue Chip Leadership Program. And I just wanted to mention a quote from the faculty member who nominated her. Chastity has been the champion at the Wildcat this year when it comes to social justice, diversity and inclusion, and staff members' personal well-being. And now you know why she's so deserving of the Senior of the Year award. Congratulations.
I'm going to present one of our final awards for the Philip Mangelsdorf Outstanding News Person. And this is really one of our very, very top awards that we reserve for a student who we think is just at the top of the list of journalists coming out. And I think you can all see we've had a stellar group of students this year and in the past couple years. So there's a lot of competition. But this year's award goes to Cristiana Silva. I'm going to tell them all about you, Cristiana, who I conflate into Silviana. That's why I've just invented a new name for her over the past couple of years. That's all right. But we also nominated Cristiana for the Outstanding Senior in the School of Social and Behavioral Science because we thought she was that outstanding in her field. She didn't get that award, but we thought she totally deserved it. And she totally...
It's an honor just to be
nominated. It really is. No, but it was, I thought, we thought she was totally deserving of it and of this award. But her achievements are so many, I had to make a bullet point list, and so I won't go into everything. But she really is a fearless multimedia journalist who can happily pilot a drone, start a website, or survive getting muscled by Trump's security forces. A really, marketable skill, I would say right now. She worked for the Wildcat for nearly 2 years, serving in a variety of positions that I won't even go into, but this included reinvigorating and leading their investigative news team. Brent Farah has nothing but praise for her work on the Wildcat. She also was an apprentice at the Arizona Daily Star on the Metro desk, helping them with campaign coverage last spring, At the same time, she served as news editor for El Independiente, our bilingual magazine. She won a competitive internship with Nate Silver's 538 as a political reporting intern and spent the final months of the presidential campaign covering that campaign. And apparently returned unscathed because she went on to serve as our Don Bowles Fellow covering the legislature up in Phoenix for the Arizona Sonora News Service. She's had internships with the Tucson Sentinel, Merger Watch, Sierra Vista Herald, Mad Media, Raising Women's Voices, and far too many awards for her reporting, more than I've gotten in a lifetime, that's for sure. But because all this was not enough for Christiana, she had to go and start a new magazine called Bottle, an online magazine, totally of her own volition. It's a visually lively, unabashedly feminist online magazine that immediately met with some national success. Last but not least, she will shortly begin a 12-week internship with National Public Radio, NPR, in Washington, D.C. For all these reasons, she is our top journalist of the year.
Thank you. And as we get closer, we have a special award for a good teacher, a great teacher. It's the Harrelson Teaching Award. We've given this out for 17 years now, and it honors Hugh and Jan Harrelson, who I mentioned. Hugh, who was publisher of Arizona Highways, he worked for the Arizona Republic, he worked for the university, he had a whole lot of hats, and his wife Jan, who both served on our advisory council and fought hard for this school. They've provided endowments that help support students, as well as this award. This award comes with $1,000, thanks to Matt and Scott Harrelson, the sons of Hugh and Jan. And Scott was going to try to make it, but I'm not sure he made it. Scott, I don't see you in here. No. He's probably caught in traffic in a Haboob on I-10 or something. So he's from Phoenix. So this year was a record year. 17 faculty and adjunct instructors were nominated by 32 students. I've never seen so many nominations, and they were incredible. The winner was selected by school advisory council members, Ann Siegel, Jo Marie Barkley, and Mark Woodhams. And I can tell you this was probably the toughest I've ever witnessed, and everybody deserves to win. I have to say that, hands down. Now this year's winner, I was actually surprised, has never won before. And it's actually a phenomenal teacher who has probably won every teaching award imaginable in journalism education. One student said this professor is the best journalism professor I've met in my life. Another said I'd be lost without her. So well-deserving, Carol Schwalbe. Here's your real check. So you can go and cash this now at whatever. It's real. It won't bounce or anything. And Carol also received a real nice trophy thing to put in her office. And Carol, thank you. You're just a wonderful teacher. You deserve this award. And literally, I think it was 2 years ago, she won Best Journalism Educator in the Nation in our organization. I mean, truly amazing. All right, next, we're going to honor our graduating seniors. Probably the happiest people in this room right now. So now they've worked hard. They were 4 years, some 5, 6, 7, who knows. But mostly 4. And they get to walk next week in McHale, along with several other thousands of people, but it's actually not that bad. It's kind of fun. And I hope you all walk and Michaela and be honored, as well as the graduating master students who will be honored in a minute after this. So what we'll do is Professor Sharkey's going to read your name. You're going to walk up if you're graduating and hand your card to Professor Sharkey, and she'll read your name, and I'll shake your hand, and I'll heartily, no limp, handshake here, and give you a special School of Journalism notebook that I hope you use in your first jobs, that you will get when you graduate from our program and be proud and do good for the world. So come on up if you're graduating. Line up right here, and let's honor your great work and your success being a Wildcat journalist graduate. Come on up. Line up right there on the wall. And after you leave, we have a basket for you to start giving already. Giving. The Alumni Association will not let you leave without writing a check. That's your first obligation as a graduate.
Natalia Navarro. Ruiz. Julianne Stanford. Stephanie Soto. Mackenzie Swaney. Brandon Mejia. Haley Ford. Danielle Ford. Michael Hernandez. Lexi Oakley. Cristiana Silva. Becca Noble. Alex Mcintyre. Chris Delgado. Sergio Calderon. Jordan Glenn. Saul Bookman. And Justin Spears.
Good job, everybody. Good job. Professor Schwalbe.
Okay, it's my pleasure to invite the graduating master's students to come up. So Alex, Michaela, come on. Jenny, Bakina.
Well, let's do the same thing, shall we? Michaela
Good job.
And the master's students and grad students, they'll actually be honored separately this year, next week on Friday at the Fox Theater. And they'll be hooded by faculty, so that's very special. In the past, they just got a handshake, basically. And now they get a hooding, which is cool, if you've ever seen it. All right. So, with that, the complete list of today's award winners And apologize if you didn't get called up and you won an award. Maybe, we had you not down as RSVP, but feel free to pick up a program and see all the award winners. They'll be in the back as you leave. Again, graduating seniors, meet on the east side of Marshall entrance. We'll get a picture, your smiling faces, and stay in touch with us, everybody. Our website, our Facebook page, our Cursor newsletter that comes out once a month, thanks to Mike Chesnick, and his great Facebook posts. And let us know what you're up to. Keep in touch with faculty throughout your careers. We're here to mentor you beyond what your parents paid during tuition, for tuition. So you've purchased us for your lifetime. Yeah. Okay, more or less. So yeah. Keep up to date. And thanks for believing in journalism, because today it's really more important than ever. I mean, what we do is a calling. It's a noble cause. It's something that matters to people. While some people may disparage it, some people may call it fake, some people may call us enemies of the American people, we are not. We are friends of the people, because that's what we're about. So kudos to you for studying hard. Kudos to your parents for supporting you. And thank you all for coming. Bear down. Woo!